Hello students and friends. Welcome to Homeopathy Medicines. Today in this homeopathic materia medica lesson, I will discuss about homeopathic medicine sulfuric acid. Before starting this video, please subscribe to this channel for Learn Homeopathy Online Free and Homeopathy Materia Medica. We need support from you to make this channel more beautiful and more informative. Now going to discuss about sulfuric acid, its uses and symptoms. The debility common to acids shows itself here, especially in the digestive tract, giving a very relaxed feeling in the stomach, with craving for stimulants. Tremor and weakness, everything must be done in a hurry. Hot flushes, followed by perspiration, with trembling. Tendency to gangrene following mechanical injuries. Writer's cramp. Lead poisoning. Gastralgia and hypochloridria. Purpura hemorrhagia. Mind, fretful, impatient. Unwilling to answer questions, hurried. Head, right-sided neuralgia, painful shocks, skin feels pinched. Sensation as if brain was loose in forehead and falling from side to side, bell, ruse. Concussion of brain where skin is cold, body bathed in cold sweat. Compressive pain inside of occiput, relieved by holding the hands near the head. Pain of outer parts, as if there were subcutaneous ulceration, painful to touch. Thrust in right temple as if plug were pressed in. Eyes, intraocular hemorrhage following traumatism. Great chemosis of conjunctiva, with aching and sharp pain. Mouth, apathy, gums bleed readily. Offensive breath. Pyorrhea. Stomach, heartburn, sour eructations, sets teeth on edge, robin. Craving for alcohol. Water causes coldness of stomach, must be mixed with liquors. Relaxed feeling in stomach. Averse to smell of coffee. Sour vomiting. Desire for fresh food. Hiccup. Coldness of stomach relieved by applied heat, nausea with chilliness. Abdomen, weak feeling, with dragging into the hips and small of back. Feeling as if hernia would protrude, especially left side. Rectum, biles, oozing dampness. Rectum feels as if it had a big ball. Diarrhea, fetid, black, with sour odor of body, an empty faint feeling in abdomen. Female, menstruation early and profuse. Erosion of cervix in the aged, easily bleeding. Acrid, burning leukorrhea, often of bloody mucus. Respiratory, respiration rapid with shooting in cervical muscles and movement of wings of nose, larynx moves up and down violently. Bronchitis in children with short, teasing cough. Extremities, cramp-like paralytic contraction in arms, hands, jerking of fingers while writing. Skin, bad effects from mechanical injuries, with bruises and livid skin. Ecchymosis. Petechiae. Purpura hemorrhagica. Livid, red, itching blotches. Hemorrhage of black blood from all outlets. Cicatrices turn red and blue and become painful. Chilblains with gangrenous tendency. Carbuncles, boils and other staphylococcic and streptococcic infections. Modalities, worse, from excess of heat or cold in forenoon and evening. Better, from warmth, and lying on affected side. Sulfuric acid. The sensation of quivering all over the body and in the limbs without visible trembling is a very strong symptom of sulfuric acid, and especially if it is associated with weakness that has been of long standing. The exhaustion, excitability and hurried feeling are constant factors. The hemorrhagic disposition with many complaints. Black fluid blood from all the orifices of the body. Small red spots enlarging rapidly to resemble purpura hemorrhagica. Blue-black spots on the skin from slight injury. Blood-red spots on the skin like those on a brook trout sometimes after injuries. Chafing easily followed by ulceration. Boils and bed sores. It has many of the complaints found in old people. The morning aggravation of symptoms is also a strong feature. Sensitive to cold and emaciation. The pains are bruised, burning, tearing, stitching, shooting and jerking. The pain comes on slowly and departs suddenly. The discharges are dark, thin blood or blood-streaked, or thin, yellow and bloody. The discharges are excoriating. General sweat after eating. The symptoms predominate on the right side. It is often indicated in sour-smelling babies like heifer, and it is as sensitive to touch and nearly as sensitive to cold. When it has cured the sensitiveness to cold, the patient often becomes worse and requires pulsatilla, which is the complement and antidote. Prostration of mind and body, with extreme sadness, weeps continuously. Nothing can be done to please him. Fretful and irritable over the slightest cause. He cannot eat and work fast enough. No one does anything to please him, in such a hurry if doing anything or going anywhere. All things must be done at once. Unwilling to answer. Irresolution. Vertigo in close room. Better walking in the open air. Better lying. Sometimes compelling him to keep his bed. Tension in the forehead with coryza. The brain seems loose and seems to fall to side lain on, better sitting perfectly still, worse walking. The blood flows strongly to the head and the feet become cold. Electric shocks in forehead and temples in forenoon and again in evening. Sensation as though a plug were being driven into the skull by strong blows. The pains in the head come on slowly and cease suddenly. Violent headaches in debilitated people. Extreme soreness in the periostum such as is found in syphilis. The hair falls out or turns gray. Ulceration of the scalp. Extremely sensitive eruptions. Lacrimation when reading. Chronic inflammation of the eye with enlarged veins and ulceration. Sensation of foreign body in right outer canthus. Soreness in the eyes with coryza. Severe ear pains that increase gradually and cease suddenly. Gradual loss of hearing. Bloody discharge from ear. Buzzing in the ear. Slowly oozing, dark, thin blood from the nose in the evening. It cures acrid, bloody discharge from nose in feeble patients when the genitals are covered by it. The coryza is dry or fluid with loss of smell and taste. The face of the sulfuric acid patient is a most sickly one. Pale, sickly and sometimes jaundiced. The expression of long suffering is marked. The deep lines of pain, depletion and emaciation. Tension of the face or a sensation as though white of egg had dried on it. Violent neuralgic pains of the face coming on gradually and ceasing suddenly, ameliorated by warmth and lying on the painful side. Small red spots or specks on the face gradually increasing in size. Inflammation of the submaxillary gland. The teeth decay early. Violent neuralgia of the teeth, coming on slowly and ceasing suddenly. Worse from cold and better from heat, worse in the evening in bed. The teeth are on edge. Loss of taste during coryza. The sore mouth is one of its most important features. It is our most frequently indicated remedy for nursing sore mouth. The aphthous mouth of infant or mother with yellowish or whitish ulcers. Bloody saliva from mouth, vesicles in the mouth. Breath very offensive. Bleeding from the mucous surfaces of mouth and gums with or without purpura hemorrhagica. Rapidly spreading ulcers in the mouth. Inflammation of the throat that is aphthous or follicular. Denuded mucous membrane. Diphtheritic exudate yellowish or white with aphthous surroundings and bleeding from nose, gums or other parts. Diphtheria with more than ordinary exhaustion and fetor. The uvula is edematous. The throat is full of spreading ulcers. Painful sore throat with painful, difficult swallowing. During the throat troubles fluids drunk run out of nose, salivation, glands of throat swollen and there is great swelling of the tonsils, soft palate and throat in general. Dark fluid blood from throat and mouth. He craves brandy and fruit. Loss of appetite and progressive weakness are strong features. Aversion to the smell of coffee. He cannot drink cold water, as it feels so cold in the stomach and makes him chilly. Violent, spasmodic hiccup, such as occurs in drunkards. Chronic heartburn. Sour belching. Sour vomiting. The teeth are always on edge from sour eructations. Sour vomiting during pregnancy. Vomiting of drunkards in the morning. Compare arsenicum, sour and very foul. Nausea and shivering. Coughing and belching sour fluids. The stomach seems to hang down as if relaxed. Vomiting after drinking cold water. Violent, spasmodic pains in the stomach. The pains come gradually and cease suddenly. The sour vomiting is most like robenia. She does not vomit food, but cannot eat, as it causes pain in stomach and she vomits mucus. After intermittent fever had existed some time, the spleen enlarges, and is painful on coughing and sore to touch. Stitching pains in spleen and liver. It has many times overcome the poison of lead and lead colic. Sinking, weak feeling in abdomen after stool. Weak feeling in abdomen, as though menses would come on. Labor-like pains in abdomen, extending to hips and back. Diarrhea with great general weakness and sensation of trembling. With weak, sinking sensation in the abdomen after stool. Chronic diarrhea with much suffering. Excoriating stools, burning in rectum during stool. Diarrhea brought on from the least indiscretion in eating, after fruit, especially if unripe, after oysters. Stool watery, orange, yellow, stringy, mucus, mixed with blood, greenish, black, undigested, smelling like spoiled eggs. Hemorrhoids very sore, itching, painful during stool, in drunkards. In constipation the stool is in small balls. Pain in the bladder if the desire to pass urine is postponed. It has cured diabetes. Scanty urine. Bloody urine. Cuticle in the urine. The menses are too frequent and copious and the flow is dark and thin. Many symptoms come before the menses. Nightmare before menses. Has nightmare at the close of the menses. The vagina is prolapsed and gangrenous. Leukorrhea bloody, acrid, milky or albuminous, yellow. The woman at the climacteric period has many symptoms peculiar to sulfuric acid. The flashes of heat, weakness, sensation of trembling, a nervous hurry in all her actions and feelings, bleeding from uterus and other parts of blood that does not coagulate, and constipation with small, hard balls like sheep stung are symptoms common to the critical period. It often causes the vomiting of pregnancy. Vomiting preceded by cough. It has cured sterility when it was supposed to depend upon the copious and frequent menstrual flow. Violent itching of the vulva. Pain and soreness in the larynx. Pain in the larynx on swallowing. Hoarseness with a dry feeling and sensation of roughness in the larynx. Weak chest and great dyspnea. Rapid movement of the wings of nose like lycopodium. Rapid moving up and down of the larynx during the dyspnea. Short of breath. Except in the morning the cough is dry and hacking. Sometimes in two coughs. He coughs in the open air, either walking or riding, worse from cold drinks and from the odor of coffee. Cough followed by itching and vomiting. The irritation is felt in the chest. The expectoration is in the morning of dark, thin blood, or of thin, yellowish, blood-streaked mucus tasting sour. Weakness in the chest with burning and stitching pain. Pressure on left side of chest. Profuse hemorrhage from the lungs of dark fluid blood, after pneumonia, and during the climacteric period. Ulceration of lungs, compare colicarb. Oppression of the chest and suffocation unless he lets the legs hang down. It has been a very useful remedy in the first steps of phthisis with profuse sweat and great weakness, but where given in the last stage it has appeared to bring on hemorrhage and increase of the inflammatory condition in the lungs. Stitching pains in the heart, palpitation. It has been useful in pleuritic exudation. Great weakness in the spine, felt mostly when standing and sitting, pain in the lumbar region. Soreness between shoulder blades when coughing. Stiffening of the back in the morning on rising. Large abscess on the right side of the neck. Black and blue spots on the limbs. Stitching pain in the shoulder joint on lifting the arm. Stitches in finger joints. Chafing of thighs after rising. Marked weakness in knees and ankles. Swollen veins of feet. Chilblains of frostbitten parts. Twitching of fingers during sleep. Late falling asleep and wakens too early. Nightmare before menses. It has chilliness, flashes of heat with sweat. Copious sweat mostly on upper part of body, from motion, sour, cold, after eating warm food, morning sweats, night sweats, typhoid fever with great prostration, bleeding from capillaries, dark, thin blood, hemorrhage of dark, thin blood from the bowels, putrid forms of continued fever, cadaveric countenance, ecchymosis, purpura hemorrhagica, old cicatrices turn red and become painful, itching and prickling with eruptions, pimples, red itching blotches on the skin, livid spots, contusions, bed sores, boils and abscesses, nodular urticarias. It cures old indolent ulcers that bleed easily, a dark blood, sensitive painful spreading ulcers, stinging burning pain in ulcers. It has cured putrid ulcers on legs. It is useful in ulcers of drunkards, in ulcers following a low form of fever, thin yellow or bloody discharge. Thanks for watching this video. If you want more videos like sulfuric acid, please subscribe to this channel and press the bell icon. To learn homeopathy course online free with Homeopathy Materia Medica. Comment us your feedback and what you want in the next video. Like and share this video with your friends and family. For paid and free consultancy online, visit homeopathymedicines.com and mashclinic.com. Thank you. Have a nice day. Stay healthy, stay happy.